This is Darren with Reboot Congress. I'm here today with Ed Martin. Ed, I understand that your opponent actually got the endorsement from the NRA. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, actually, the way it works is the NRA, you fill out a survey and you get graded. I received an A from the NRA, and I'm a member of the NRA, and my opponent, Chris Koster, received an A from the NRA. I think mostly because when he was a Republican a few years ago, before he became a Democrat, I think he did vote pretty well on guns. Because it's a tie, the way the NRA settles a tie is that the incumbent official gets the endorsement. So it's sort of one of those things. I'm disappointed because in my mind, if I had been Attorney General during the same time period as Democrat Chris Koster has been Attorney General, there are at least 2 or 3 ways I would have stood up for our Second Amendment as well as our Article 1, Section 23. That's where the Missouri right to keep and bear arms is in the Missouri Constitution. One of them would be the UN treaty that right now Hillary Clinton is contemplating signing, which would allow the small arms treaty would allow the registration of ammo and otherwise curtail our rights. The other one is the fast and furious fight, which has been going on with Eric Holder. I believe that the states, as a sovereign, part of our sovereignty, should have been objecting to that. That is really a way to undermine our Second Amendment rights. So I'm disappointed that the NRA gave my opponent the endorsement, but I understand the rationale, and I think more importantly, the fight for our Second Amendment rights needs to be much more significant, and I will do that as Attorney General.
You did actually get an endorsement recently. Could you tell me a little bit about who endorsed you?
And, well, the Gun Owners of America, it's another sort of Second Amendment group that formed, 35, 40 years ago. It's been a smaller sort of membership name, but very energetic. It tends to be a bit more legal, putting out legal arguments about firearms freedom and protecting our constitutional rights. So they endorsed me a week or so ago, and that was exciting, and they have a lot of members in Missouri. And again, one thing I would say about the Gun Owners of America endorsement, which means a lot to me, is they look at not just, say, a voting record, they look at what your public statements are, what your positions are. Their survey is a little bit more detailed on some of the legal arguments. And for example, in Missouri, I think we need a Missouri Firearms Freedom Act, which would be an act which says, it's passed in Montana and I think Wyoming. It says if you build a gun within the state limits, don't intend to put it out into commerce, you shouldn't be regulated under the Commerce Clause, and you should have your Second Amendment rights. That's sort of a test for the conflict between the commerce and the Second Amendment, but that kind of assertion of our freedom is something that I, as Attorney General, will support because we're watching our Second Amendment rights get chipped away.
So last question, Ed. I understand that deer season starts next Saturday.
Yeah.
Where are you going hunting?
Well, I'm actually going to be with my family. After this election, we're going to be probably away on at least the opening of the season, but I go to Maris County down in sort of southwest Missouri. That's where I have a friend that has a farm, and my brother and I go with a couple of our friends. So that's probably where I'll be, although to be honest, I haven't thought past Election Day in terms of where I'm going. I probably need to check with my wife on what our schedule is, and there's a honey-do list about as long as my arm that will have to be completed before I get out of the house and get in the tree stand.
Great. Thank you, Ed. Any final comments?
No, I just think hope people will vote. It's a big election, and I hope we need to have as much turnout, even if you're not voting for Ed Martin. You need to turn out and vote. It's America's, our process is best when more people participate. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Yep.